Hey guys, welcome to episode 10 of the peer-to-peer network coding session series. At the previous episode, we were working on implementing mm, peer-to-peer network services like the social graph and trading signals. So what was left pending was to debug the implementation of the trading signals service. So let's check that out. We were here. We had this running, but the code we implemented here, trading signal network service, and this part, the client interface for trading signals, we didn't really actually debug it, so that's what we're going to do now. So I'm going to close this, and this. And we are going to run the node and see what happens. Okay. So let's run. Okay, this means that this is running well. So the next thing for us would be to go and test the signals from the UI. So we are going to come here to trading signals demo. So this demo, the last time I checked it, it was really not working. So I will use this opportunity to put it to work again. So beyond the changes we made at the network node, there might be something else here. Here we have two strategies, one sending signals and another one receiving signals. The first run, I will do it directly on Node.js and see what happens. So we have this here, and we will run the first one. We will run the second one. Okay, task server is running, and they are both connected to the peer-to-peer network node. So that's cool. What I don't see is the process running, or even this stuff that should be running. So that's not really good. That's not really good. Because I guess that if I run the session, nothing is going to happen. Okay, so something is fundamentally broken here, much broken than what I expected. So, yeah, I cannot even stop this. So everything is quite broken. So let me refresh this page, stop this, run this again. Okay, I got it while I was refreshing. Refresh the page. So, what I will do is that I will use one of these guys. What is going on here? I will use one of these guys to run this in debug mode, like a trading the task. And I'm going to debug the task to see what is going on. It's strange that nothing is shown anywhere. Okay, I will stop here and let's see what's wrong. So this is running. That means that if I come here and I hit debug, it should stop here. So I will do a first pass quickly. Set up trading signals, open storage. Okay, set up the peer-to-peer network. Is connecting, but it's never coming back. Now we know where to look at. Let's do it again. Right here. Debug here. Set up peer-to-peer network means entering here. Okay, this is the same bootstrapping process we were This is the same bootstrapping process that we were modifying at the network node. Okay, kind of working. The network initialize is working. This is working. That is working. Peer-to-peer network start initialize. Okay, this is not working anymore. Okay, so our problem is here. Too early. So what is going on here? Connect to peers. So there is an await of to connect to peers. So there are two peers to connect to. Which is a little bit strange because, well, yes, there are two definitions that matches. Both should be of my profile, my two nodes. Yeah, there are two definitions that matches. Is peer connected? So we get into is peer online. Okay, so I'm starting to guess what the promise is, what the problem is. Here we got a promise that is never going to be resolved or rejected. Most likely because the network node is never going to answer. So peer so here resolve, reject, reject. So most likely at our network node we will have a failure. Yeah, we have a clear message here. Body string is not defined. And this is 100% related to what we were coding at the last episode. Body string is not defined. Okay, so the body, we only have it. We have it the body from here. That means that we cannot have the message header in here. But why did I take it out? Don't really know. Because it's not needed anywhere else. Okay, so we're just going to put this inside here. And we run this node again. Okay, on this side there is something that we can do better, because in this situation this was waiting for this then to happen or this catch to happen. It never happens. So probably we would need to have a kind of timeout if we are sending a message and it's not responded in, I don't know, 5 seconds, then probably we would consider that a failure. We will do that. Set timeout. Check if check promise. Okay, so we're going to do check promise and function check promise, and we are going to give this 10 seconds. We are also going to have a variable here. Uh, yeah, most likely these already exist in here. So maybe I am going to do like if promise status pending, then reject. We don't need any cause of rejection, just the node didn't respond on time for whatever reason. So I'm going to make this as clear as I can. Okay, so I don't know if this is a property of the promise or not, but we will see. So I'm going to reverse the changes here and let it fail. So we're going to use this opportunity as a way to make this more resilient. Okay, so we're going to stop here and we will run this again. No need to stop here. Okay, so here we go. Debug. Okay, so here we are. Let's check this first. Okay, the promise is still undefined because this execution is what it defines it. So let's let it run and wait for 10 seconds. Okay, how do I get this? Promise. I never seen this stuff before. Hmm. And I'm going to do a quick Google search because I don't know how to get that property. How to get promise status JavaScript. Okay, we have two possible ways here. It looks like it's too much of a problem. I just can create a variable and that's it. But I was hoping to not to do it. But it looks like that is what people are just doing. So let's forget about this and let's go back and fix it. So we are just going to create a variable here. So before we resolve, we're going to change this to rejected and rejected. And here we will check if promise status is still undefined, then we reject or pending. So the network is still running. Our task server, we will run it again. Once it's running, we come here and debug. Um, so we run here. It's going to fail at the network node, but our timeout will be hit. We reject, and okay, and the task is it continue running. This timeout is going to be rejected, so there's nothing to do there. The timeout mechanism is working perfectly well, and this will continue trying to connect to another node, but that's not our problem anymore. So this problem was fixed, and you can see it here because now this is working. Okay. So we are also going to fix the network node at the HTTP interface, redoing this fix. I'm going to commit these changes. Mm. Okay, so now we run our node again. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to debug the HTTP interface on the node just to make sure all is good. But just here when I have a new message. Okay. So then let's run the task server with the node fix it. Debug. We will run this guy in Node.js for now. Okay, and we will run the bot session. Okay, but this is too slow, so I'm going to stop this process and I'm going to run this directly on Node.js. It's much better. So So at the end of the first day, we should be sending a signal to the network node, but I haven't seen anything here. So obviously there's no signal being sent. So what do? We have this that successfully ran, but actually didn't send my signals to the network. Mhm. The sending of the signal is done via the send message. Now I'm thinking if we shouldn't put the timeout also here. Yeah, we will do that. Okay, we are doing this exactly. Something. If it couldn't, well, it's not that we are doing something now. It's we still need to do something. If we receive a response that is not okay, okay, we need to follow that case. But we're not going to do that now. So pending, rejected, resolve. Hold on. When we reject this, okay, the timeout is run only once, so we don't need to modify the variable anymore. Okay. Okay, in order to send the signals, there is a complicated mechanism that needs to happen. That it depends on many stuff actually. And some stuff might not work. So I will need to get all the sequence of execution to see what is failing and why. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to trading signals here, task server, outgoing trading signals, outgoing candle signals. So let's recap this. When a node that is sending signals needs to send a signal, they execute this function. We create a signal message. And we send it over this module to broadcast signal. These broadcast signals are going to store all the signals until a signal of a candle is we're going to accumulate all the signals that are not the candle signal. We mean that the signal that are represented has been processed. Once we receive the candle signal, we send the whole package to open storage. So this is going to accumulate individual signals into an array of signals of the same candle. Then it sends this to open storage. So open storage, task server. So this guy processes each execution of this function is for one candle worth of signal. So they are push it into here, and at some point in time this is executed and this is executed. This is kind of complicated stuff because the signals are saved at a GitHub repository. And once all is done, then we finally broadcast this. So it's a long story and many moving parts, many stuff need to happen. So we will put all that stuff, but at the same time, we don't want to wait for 1000 candles. So we are going to come here to the trading simulation and we are going to cut this short doing if E equals 1, then E equals 1435. So we're going to fast forward. Okay, so we are ready to debug this again and see what is going on. Okay, so let's debug. It's strange that we are here. Well, it's not strange because this is executed via a set interval, so it's going to execute no matter if these have anything or not. So let's continue. There is something strange here. Okay, we'll start again. We will stop this. We will stop this and we will run this again. We will run the network node again. And we will run the task server again. We will debug this again. It seems that until this is not stopped, debug is not going to work. Okay, there's a problem here. Unhandle rejection. Reading config. Peer-to-peer network client identity. What is wrong with that? Okay, there is another problem, and this one is inside this module from the network project. So it seems that this continues, or that the execution continues, even though there is no identity, or there was no identity found at the bootstrapping process. We are talking specifically about the setup client identity. This never happens and is crashing somewhere else. So essentially, the end of the at the end of this process, we can say that if so that is what is happening it here. So then is exploding somewhere else down the line because it assumes that there will be an identity. Let's run this again. I'm not sure that was happening before. No, it doesn't happen now. It looks like there is some kind of race condition that it might happen sometimes, which is something more difficult to find out. Okay, let's continue with our test. In the meantime, okay, so this is kind of working, so we're going to let it run. And now it wants to save the file. So let's see how far this gets. So on file save, so let's check if this comes here. Okay, the content was saved at the, so this is going to broadcast the stuff. At least this is what it's saying here. So now we got a message with the network service trading signal, and the payload is this, and it's coming all the way to the A network start. That is going to pick a peer. Message to the delivery. If peer is undefined, okay, this is the problem that is causing the signals never to reach this stuff. Peer should not be undefined. Give me a second. Okay, so why these peers is in 0? We are talking that if we had this connection, this should mean that these peers array should have something. This is where we add a peer. But again, this is coming from this. So when these guys are, when that is resolved, the promise, hold on, where do we send connect to peers? Is peer connected? Is peer online? Okay, let's debug this again. There's something shady there. I still don't know what it is. Let's debug the task again. Okay, so why this is reject? Which is the peer? And why? Send test message, right? I have breakpoints here. Okay. Okay, so it's not really connecting via WebSockets, via HTTP. But I don't really understand what is going on. Okay, there was no breakpoint there. Is the node running? This is really very strange. One, two, three, four, six. HTTP is listening at port 14321. Where did you get that port number? That's a good question. Why are you trying to connect to port 12346? So who is setting this host and port they initialize? Okay, so this is peer-to-peer network node 2 of mine. So I will wait for number 1. Why I have two connected to network via WebSockets? It should be only one. Something is broken. Okay, here am I at port 1. Cannot read property of undefined user profile handle. So where is that error happening? Origin 57. Okay, so we're having an error here because this is user profile. Okay, this is due to a refactoring. And I remember this change it for user profile. Okay, so because of this error, instead of resolving, it was rejecting. Okay, let's try this out again. What a bug. Uh, the refactoring poorly done make you spend an hour later. So let's run this again. Wait for it to be running. Now debug. Okay, now we have a resolve. It's online, so now we will have a peer. And that means that now we have this connected HTTP. Okay, now we will send a signal. Most likely, still I don't like this. It's something that I'm going to investigate, but not now because there's too big a mess now. So we're going to finally run this process, and hopefully the signal will go through. So the file is saved. The broadcast is coming here. The message is sent over here. And here we didn't have any peers, but now we have. So this is going to come to the HTTP client. And let's go. Okay, the signal is on the other side. Yes. So now we are here at the network node. We get the body, parse the body. We have the caller and the network service and the payload. Okay. I forgot to take out this line. It was the old line of execution that now it doesn't exist. So this is going to fail here. But we are almost here. So we run this again. We will run this again. And we're going to debug this from here. Okay. Okay, and the signal is here with a color roll. And okay, we have a timeout, of course, because we are debugging. And okay, so is this undefined? No. That means that we can send you. Okay, there's some code here, like this one, that it shouldn't be here. But anyways, this comes into here. So we got the message. We parse the message. What is this request type? What am I trying to do? Where are we? Social trading modules. We shouldn't be here. New social trading modules client interface. No, we shouldn't be here. Because there is something wrong with this guy. So the guy that should be instantiated is this. And the other guy is this. And it's not social trading, but it's trading signals. Okay, and on the other side, I cannot send this via sockets, but in this way. Also here. So let's try it again. We run this guy. We run this guy. When this is running, debug. And run. Now we go here. Okay. Timeout there. So we go in here and now we are inside new trading signal. Okay. So the signal itself, we are going to parse the payload. Now we have the signal as we had it before. Validate this stuff. And we are going to broadcast the signals as we used to do. Okay, so this means that the code for that we wrote is now working well. Okay. Broadcast to clients. Response comebacks. So there's really no message ID here. This is something that was used. Okay, so this message ID is not something that we need. So we will get rid of it. And as far as I know, I can say this is working. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run this without this breakpoint. And I'm going to do the full test of the trading signals. So I'm going to remove these breakpoints, but I'm not even going to execute this from here, but from Node.js because I know the signals are being sent. So I need to do the simulation. I'm going to discard these changes. Okay, entonces then HTTP interface divide. Okay, so what I'm going also to do is that I'm going to come to SuperAlgo's platform, my data storage project, algorithmic trading, and delete everything there. And then I will run this from here. And I will run so let's check the console. Okay, so we will run this guy, and this is going to be a full test. If it works, it means that everything is working. So this is the guy waiting for the signal, so we will run this first, but also we will run this other guy. So let's see what happens. There he goes. Once that finishes, this continues. When this finishes the first day, then this guy this guy get all the signals and process the whole day. Then the second day, and everything is finished. So if we go to the charts, yeah, we see both strategies run well. The one that is producing the signal and the one that is receiving the signal. So at this point in time, everything is working with the upgrade of trading signal being one of the network services. So beautiful, just in time. So to briefly recap, what we have done now is we debugged the code that transformed the trading signals into a very specific network service running at the network node. So it's a network service that can be enabled or disabled, and probably there's still some adjustment to be done because we need this test that we are doing for trading signals to test if we are going to be able to run this as a network service. So we need a specific test for the network service because now we are testing only that the HTTP interface is responding, right? So we will that we can do that at the next episode. How do we make sure that there is a node that we already pre-tested that is going to take our signals when we need it, okay? Because now it's an independent service of the network interface. But we haven't implemented that yet, so in the next episode, that is what I'm going to do. Implement that and debug it to have it fully operational, okay? So, but now this is working again. So that's all for this episode. Thank you for watching and see you next time.